Hello, in today's video we are going to create a 3D model out of this isometric drawing to exercise the skill on part building. As we can see, the major shape of this part is a rectangle, actually a rectangular prism with 4 by 8 base and 4 inches tall. So, to begin we click on New on the Quick Access toolbar. Since the part is in inches we select the English template. If you select a part template in millimeters, it can be changed after to inches if necessary. But as a good practice we select the matching unit system. Click Start 2D Sketch in the Sketch panel, click the X and Y plane. To draw the base rectangle, we click this drop-down menu on the Create panel in the Sketch tab. Notice we have several options to create a rectangle and even other shapes. We select the 2-point rectangle option. We place the first point in the origin as good practice, but you don't have to. A dimension box pops up, we type 8, press Tab key. In the second dimension box type 4, and press Enter to end. We do not need to fill dimensions as we go, it can be placed afterwards. Now we are going to create the body, so we click on the 3D Model tab, then on the Extrude command, and the Extrude dialog box appear. We can invoke the Extrude command by clicking the letter E on your keyboard. As we can see, the closed geometry is already selected. We can extrude it in different directions and asymmetrically too. We type 4 for the distance we want to extrude. We want to correct the names of the views as a good practice, so we go to the View cube on the upper right corner of the graphic window. For more on how to use the cube and navigation in general, watch my video on navigation basics. We select the view we want as the top, right-click on the cube and select Set Current View as Top. Now we have the views as we want them. Let's create another feature. We will create the front chamfers. Back to the model, we can create it two ways, with a sketch and extrude command or with the modifying command chamfer. Let's start with chamfer. Chamfer command has several options to be created according to the dimensions we know, 2 equal sides at 45 degrees, one side an angle or 2 different sides. We select the last one since matches what we know of the part. In the first dimension we will enter the chamfer distance on the side of the part, which will be 8 minus 2.5, minus 2 and minus 2.5. Notice we don't need to enter a real number, we enter instead the equation, making it very efficient. The other dimension, it is just half of the front width. We select the edge and the chamfer is placed, click Apply to use the command again. Select the next edge. As we can see, the distances are wrong for this edge, just click the flip side button to correct it. Let's delete the chamfers we just created by right-clicking on the browser and deleting. We are going to use Sketch and Extrude command. Click on Start 2D Sketch button, click the face where we want the sketch, select the Line command, hover approximately on the metal point of the front edge until highlights, click on it, it will snap making a coincident constraint. If you have any question on Sketch's constraints, watch my video about it for more in detail explanations. Make an arbitrary triangle for the first and second chamfer. Dimension them, see that I link both dimensions so I do not need to type the second one. Invoke the command Extrude, select the geometry, select Cut, and select all for the distance to extrude. Now back to the isometric drawing, we can do the groove 1.5 inches wide by half an inch deep. On the model, click Start 2D Sketch, place on the face, draw a rectangle, center it and dimension it. Click Extrude on the 3D Model tab or invoke it by pressing the letter E on the keyboard. On the dialog box, click Cut and 0.5 for distance, click OK or press Enter on the keyboard. Be aware that most of the times, there are different ways to apply even the same command to achieve the same modification. Let's delete the last extrude feature and try it from a different plane. Let's click Start 2D Sketch, select the back side, draw a 2-point rectangle, first point coincident with the top edge, center it by placing a vertical constraint or a coincident constraint between the center of the edge and the midpoint of the rectangle upper line. Type the dimensions and extrude cut all. Now let's do the other groove. Back in the model, we can do it through the side or to the top. Let's use the top. Place a 2D sketch, draw a rectangle, make its endpoints coincident to the part edges, dimension it. Extrude cut 1 inch deep. Let's do now the holes. As we can see, this is the notation of a counter bore hole, 0.656 hole diameter, with a counter bore 1 inch diameter and 5/8 deep. Back in the 3D model, we are going to do it using a 2D sketch and extruding. I project the geometry so its edges get highlighted and able to be used in the drawing. I draw 2 circles, center it to the part. Let's dimension it. We extruding the counter bore first, 1 inch diameter. Let's locate them according to the drawing. We extrude cut the geometry 0.625 deep. Let's repeat the process to extrude the through hole. Since we have a hole notation, The process to add a hole to the part it is a lot simpler if we use the hole command. You will need basic designer experience. Back in the 3D model we delete the previous extruding features. We select Start 2D Sketch, click the surface where we want the holes, project the geometry by clicking Project Cut Edges to facilitate dimensioning. On the Create panel, click Point and add 2 points approximately where the holes are. We can center them with a constraint, add the dimensions to locate them. On the 3D Model tab, Modify panel, click the command hole. Since a counter bore it is usually a clearance hole, we are going to select clearance hole and counter bore for shape. As standard we use ANSI, all in inches. A counter bore it is usually for cap screws, and since the through hole is 0.656, we will select a clearance for a 5/8 screw which is 0.625 in diameter. As we can see, the standard for this screw matches the hole dimensions in the isometric drawing. Press Enter or click OK to apply. This is an exercise video to get you familiar with the commands needed to create a part in Autodesk Inventor. Working with the program, investigating new ways to do a task and consulting the software help, will develop further your skills. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video instructive. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more.